A visit to the zoo. Today, I want to write about my visit to the zoo. Going to the zoo is one of my favorite activities. I love animals, and the zoo is a great place to see them up close. This past weekend, my family and I decided to spend a day at the zoo. And it turned out to be a wonderful experience. I can't wait to share all the details with you. Planning the trip. A few days before our visit, my parents and I talked about our plans. My younger brother, Jake, loves animals. So we thought it would be a great idea to take him to the zoo. We decided to go on Saturday because the weather was supposed to be nice. We checked the zoo's website to see the hours and special events. I was excited to see that they had a new exhibit featuring African animals. I really wanted to see the lions and giraffes. After looking at the schedule, we made a list of the animals we wanted to see and planned our route for the day. Waking up early. On the day of our zoo trip, I woke up early because I was so excited. I got out of bed and quickly got dressed. I chose a comfortable outfit. A t-shirt with my favorite animal on it, jeans and sneakers. I wanted to be ready for a day of walking and exploring. After getting dressed, I went to the kitchen for breakfast. My mom made pancakes and scrambled eggs, which were delicious. We talked about what we were most excited to see at the zoo. Jake could not stop talking about the monkeys and the giraffes. I smiled, knowing he would have a great time. Packing for the day. After breakfast, I helped my mom pack a backpack for the day. We included some snacks, water bottles, and sunscreen. It was important to stay hydrated and protected from the sun while we spent time outside. I also remembered to grab my camera. I wanted to take pictures of the animals and capture the memories of our family day. Jake brought his favorite toy, a little stuffed lion, because he wanted to take pictures with it in front of the real lions. Driving to the zoo. Once we finished packing, we got into the car and started our drive to the zoo. The weather was beautiful, and the sun was shining. As we drove, I looked out the window at the scenery. The trees were turning colors for autumn. And I loved seeing the bright oranges and yellows. During the drive, we played music and sang along to our favorite songs. I felt happy and excited, knowing that we were going on a fun adventure together. The drive didn't take long, and soon we arrived at the zoo. Arriving at the zoo. When we got to the zoo, I could see many people entering. The atmosphere was lively, and I felt the excitement in the air. We parked the car and made our way to the entrance. I could already hear the sounds of animals and the laughter of children. At the entrance, we bought our tickets. I was happy to see that we could use a family pass, which saved us some money. Once we entered the zoo, I grabbed a map so we could plan our day. Exploring the zoo. As we walked into the zoo, I was amazed by the beautiful scenery. There were trees, flowers, and paths leading to different animal exhibits. The first exhibit we visited was the one with the lions. I couldn't wait to see them. When we reached the lion enclosure, I was excited to see two big lions lounging in the sun. They looked so majestic. We watched as they rolled around and played with each other. Jake was thrilled to see the lions and kept pointing at them, saying, "Look at how big they are." Visiting the giraffes. After the lions, we decided to visit the giraffes. I have always loved giraffes because they are so tall and graceful. When we arrived at the giraffe exhibit, I saw several giraffes munching on leaves from the tall trees. We took a lot of pictures, and I even managed to get a close-up shot of a giraffe's face. They have such long necks and big, beautiful eyes. It was amazing to see them up close. The reptile house. Next, we decided to explore the reptile house. I was excited but also a little nervous because I'm not a big fan of snakes. When we entered the reptile house, it was dark and warm inside. There were many tanks with different reptiles, including snakes, lizards, and turtles. We walked past the tanks, and I was amazed by the variety of animals. Jake loved the turtles and watched them swim. I managed to take a picture of a big python resting in its tank. It looked so long and shiny. I felt both scared and fascinated at the same time. The monkey exhibit. After the reptile house, we headed to the monkey exhibit. I was excited to see the playful monkeys. When we arrived, I saw several monkeys swinging from branches and playing with each other. They were so funny and entertaining. Jake laughed as the monkeys chased each other around. We all stood there, watching them jump and make silly noises. One monkey even sat right by the glass, looking at us. I took a picture of Jake holding his stuffed lion next to the monkey. It was a cute moment. Lunch break. After a few hours of exploring the zoo, we decided to take a break for lunch. There were picnic areas, so we found a nice spot under a tree. My mom unpacked our snacks, and we enjoyed sandwiches, fruit, and cookies. While we ate, we talked about our favorite animals from the day. I shared how much I loved the giraffes, and Jake said the monkeys were the best. My dad suggested we go see the penguins next, and everyone agreed it was a great idea. Visiting the penguins. After lunch, we headed to the penguin exhibit. I was excited because I love penguins. When we arrived, I saw the penguins waddling around and jumping into the water. They looked so cute in their black and white feathers. We watched as the penguins swam and played. I took several pictures of them diving and splashing in the water. I loved how they moved and how social they were with each other. It was such a joy to see them in action. Exploring more exhibits. After the penguins, we continued our adventure around the zoo. We visited the bird sanctuary, where I saw colorful birds flying around. There were parrots, flamingos, and even some exotic birds I had never seen before. We stopped at the elephant exhibit next. The elephants were so big and impressive. I loved watching them play with each other and splash in the water. One elephant picked up a ball with its trunk and tossed it around. It was amazing to see how intelligent they are. The end of our visit. As the day went on, we visited more exhibits, including the big cats, bears, and even a petting zoo where we could interact with some animals. I petted goats and sheep, which was so much fun. I loved spending time with my family and seeing all the different animals. After a full day of exploring, we knew it was time to head home. We walked back toward the entrance, feeling tired but happy. I looked at all the pictures I had taken throughout the day, and I felt grateful for the wonderful experience we had. Reflecting on the day. On the drive home, I reflected on our day at the zoo. I felt grateful for the time spent with my family. I realized how much I love animals and how visiting the zoo helps me appreciate them even more. It was a day filled with laughter, learning, and unforgettable moments. When we got home, I shared my favorite pictures with my friends and family. They loved seeing the animals, and I felt happy to relive the memories of our visit. I can't wait to go back to the zoo again someday. Looking forward to more adventures. In conclusion, visiting the zoo was an amazing experience. I enjoyed every moment, from seeing the lions and giraffes to interacting with the penguins and petting the goats. I am grateful for the time spent with my family and the memories we created together. I look forward to more adventures in the future. Whether it's visiting the zoo again or exploring new places, I know that spending time with loved ones is what matters most. Good night, and I hope you also find joy in exploring nature and spending time with your family. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Remember, keep listening and repeating. That's the best way to learn English. Don't give up. You are doing great. See you in the next video. Bye for now.